Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaming Gone Weird. I am your host, Nicktana, and today we are going to get weird, man. I got some great topics for you today. Some very, very breaking news coming in. And this pod is going to be a little bit of fighting because Peter already tried to draw a little bit of blood before we went live. I don't understand what that was about. All right, because literally I've just been chilling. And he had to come out of nowhere and start this little battle. But before we get into that, man, hopefully y'all are doing great. Like I said, I am not alone for this episode of the pod. Right beside me, I have the man, the myth, the legend, your very favorite trophy hunter, Peter. Peter, tell the people about yourself, man. What have you been doing? How's your days been, man?
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
I know. I felt a little. I had the jitters too. Like, don't worry. When I first started, I was like, okay. I started sweating. I thought I was prepared. All right, go ahead. Get it out.
Purple leather, yellow leather. What's up, everybody? This is Peter, aka Not Ghost Stories on All Things Social. And this week we have continued our saga into Dave the Diver as far as games that we've been playing. Turns out Dave the Diver has a ton of content, so it continues.
Basically. Dave the Diver has to be one of the best games out right now. And that's
Yes.
That's not even like a exaggeration. That's not even an opinion. I feel like that's a straight up fact at this point.
Yeah, it's irrefutable at this point. There's so much content they put in that game that they did not have to put in.
Oh my God.
I'm only in chapter 4. I think there's 7 or 8 chapters. And like I just played a dream sequence. I don't want to reveal too much, but there was a dream sequence rhythm-based quest. Random. Out of nowhere.
Awesome.
Was not expecting it, and I was like, "Why is this in here? This is amazing." So we've been playing that, and we've been doing the pods, man, and football's coming soon. So been working on that with Tom, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's hot. It's 100 degrees.
It's so hot.
So I don't know if you can see. I'm glistening right now.
It's okay. I love video games, bro, and I love gaming and stuff like that, but I think I'm ready for some good old football. And we do have some sport topics in here for some news, so you guys are going to want to hear that. But dude, I've been great too, man. I've just been sitting back, gaming a little bit, just kind of trying to keep piecing little bit by bit into this Final Fantasy 16, guys. Like, I have been so locked in. I know you guys are tired of hearing me say, "What are you playing, Nick?" It's been Final Fantasy 16. I'm just on such a kick. The game is so fun. I even had one of my boys come over, spend the night. He was sleeping on the couch back there, and I woke up early just the game. I didn't care if he was sleeping. I didn't care if I woke him up. I was just ready to get into Final Fantasy 16 because I'm just trying to beat it, get it done.
Yeah, how far are you?
Dude,
how long is it?
I'm about 20 hours. I think it's about a 32-hour game. Okay. But for completion, it's about 50 to 60, and I feel like I'm on that completionist pass because I've been doing like side quests and a whole bunch of other stuff.
50 to 60.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of hunts and a lot of extra stuff to make sure I'm like the right level to be taken. I'm actually over leveled as of right now at the time of this recording, but Final Fantasy 16, it's been my game of the year contender. So I just been straight up playing that, spending some time with the fam, all that good stuff. And yeah, man. Also Dave the Diver for me too. I'm not as far as Peter.
It's so fun, man.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I'll just start a podcast just to talk about Dave the Diver.
Yeah, dude, it's not gonna win any major awards, but I think it's gonna clean up.
I don't want to count it out. I don't want to count it out, but I think for like indie stuff or like little awards and stuff like that, like don't count out Dave. Like I think a lot of people are gonna hear about Dave like sooner or later.
As they should. Yeah. That's pretty much the only game I've been playing this week, though.
Right.
Work's been kind of crazy, but other than that, man, it's been fun. I'm so like refreshed with that.
I feel refreshed too.
Yeah.
Let me know what you guys have been playing down below. I also want to remind everybody before we get into the question of the day that Peter picked out for us. It is Prime Day for Amazon Prime owners. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you guys could go on there and look up the Prime deals for everything on the site. A lot of gaming stuff is on Prime deals. I recently got a 2 terabyte SSD for the PS5. That was about $100. I got Octopath Traveler 2, Bayonetta 3. I got the Final Fantasy remake. There's a lot of games I got. So make sure you guys lock in, get your games for cheap right now because Amazon's saying like, look, you can get these games that are full price half off, and that's always a steal for your collection. Add stuff to your backlog. Like, this is the time to kind of invest into get some games out there. So make sure you guys check out those Prime deals. I already told Peter too. So
agreed.
Go ahead and kick up my main man, my main squeeze, my main guy. Go ahead and kick us off with the question of the day.
The question of the day. Oh, episode. Did you announce the episode that we're on?
If I didn't, this is episode number 43.
We're getting close. I'm excited.
We are getting close. I think we're on the same mindset. We're just ready to get to 50.
Yeah, I know. I was like, let's just skip the next 7 and get to it. All right. Question of the day. What games would you take sick days for? It could be school or work. Or what games have you already taken sick days for? Now, if we're talking about school, if you're a little bit younger, what games have you lied to your parents and said, I'm too sick, I got to stay home, just because you wanted to play a game so badly? Or a game that you said, hey, it's coming out, I'm going to call in sick at work the next day so I can just get my first, 8 to 10 hours in this thing and try to get ahead of everybody else.
Okay, so I have a few moments with this, and one was early in my little years of gaming, and then also recently, as of maybe a few years ago. Mm-hmm. The first time when I was a youngin', I remember specifically I was super sick. I did stay home, but my mom actually let me play the game on that day. And the game of choice that I was playing when I was sick was Madden. I don't remember what Madden it was. Yeah, I had a Madden franchise. I remember playing the Saints specifically. I always picked the Falcons for my franchises, and we would always be 10, 11 years into the future. So we did a little bit of that. I remember that day specifically. And then also another time is when I was really getting back into Madden. They had a new promo coming out. It was Madden 21, and they had a new promo that came out. It was the Hall of Fame program like that they had. So you would do solo challenges and you would get a certain Hall of Fame player on your team. And I always had a Falcons theme team, and in order to get my Falcons theme team the way I needed, one of the best receivers or one of the fastest receivers for Falcon theme teams is Devin Hester. Devin Hester always has 95, 96 speed. Yeah. So I went home at 3:00 in the morning, and I literally told everybody at work, I was like, yo, I'm about to go home. I got to grind out these challenges. What my boss going to tell me? My boss, I had points. I was like, I'm going to go. I was like, I got to grind this stuff out real quick. He's like, all right, go home. Whatever. It didn't make me look
straight up. You told him straight up.
I'm out. I got to go grind this little program real quick.
That's awesome.
I went, I got my Devin Hester. I grinded for 2-3 hours and got my guy, and done. That was it. I was a grown man. What about you?
Man, games that I have taken sick days for. When I was in college, I definitely skipped class to play Skyrim for sure. I've taken some sick
that's
days.
A good
Skyrim.
one. That's a good answer.
It's just too good, and I was like, class is trash, and this game is amazing. I've definitely taken sick days to play Halo for sure. When I was a little bit younger.
You were a little skipper, bro. You were big time skipping.
I skipped a lot of school. It sucked. I got in trouble.
I was wondering why you were trying to convince the podcast that these kids need to be skipping to play video games. I was wondering.
I'm just saying, you'll remember those times more than you will, whatever the Pythagorean theorem was or whatever.
Don't even remind me about the Pythagorean theorem.
The new releases for Halo for sure, because I feel like they were always released on a Thursday or Friday. Skip those for sure. Skyrim was a good one. I mean, I'm sure I've skipped for Call of Duty up to a point, and then it was just it's not worth it anymore. Yeah, I think Skyrim and Halo were because the campaigns on Halo were so epic when we were younger. So epic.
Halo 3 was one of my most memorable times playing a Halo campaign. And it's just back in those eras, I don't know if it was just because we were young or maybe the single player love was more there than the multiplayer.
For sure. Yep.
Gears of War 3, Halo 3 were some of the best campaigns I've ever touched. Call of Duty World at War also might be some of the best campaigns I've ever touched. And those were all in the same era. Every single one of them.
Dude, that's crazy to think those came out so
360 days. And I would love to have like a game like that, have that experience. Not to say Gears of War 5 was a really good campaign, but you think of like Halo. It doesn't like nowadays. It doesn't get. I feel like it gets caught up too much in because people care about multiplayer so much that it kind of slides away from how good your campaigns are.
Companies can make a lot more money in multiplayer, so I feel like they get pressured to launch it that way. At least the AAA games.
We always got to remember that for sure.
Yeah, I mean the indie games, a lot of them are all just single player. So I mean they're still out there for sure. I mean Dave the Diver is a great example of that. So they're not going away by any means. It's such a like I'll just keep singing Dave's praises. It's such a step in the right direction, or at least a wall of like we don't need to cheap out and just make a battle pass. Like you can still make great games and be very successful. Just put some care and time and effort into it. You know?
I think I'm going to talk to Jimmy and see if we can get this to be called Gaming Gone Dave, because we've officially went Dave.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, if you had come out with that scuba hat on that episode,
that's so mean. That's so mean. Bro.
One, where'd you get it? Two, yeah.
Man, let me know down below, guys. What game you guys skipped for? Mo did say Sun and Moon, and then Cooldown judged me for skipping for Madden. But yes, that's the world.
That's on brand.
If you guys love this podcast and you guys love hearing us talk about Dave the Diver, and you guys want to help support more, you guys can leave a KYN chat at kynchat.com. All of it does help. It helps with the proceeds and helps keep the podcast up and going. And it really does help us personally. I do want to highlight a few things before we get into our first topic. First one being the games that are going to be coming out this week. One of them specifically is called Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. This game will be on PS5 and PS4 with decent reviews. I'm definitely curious about this one. And for all you Xbox Game Pass owners, you guys will get Exo Primal. And wow, that is a very blurry picture. Good job, Nick. Exo Primal is basically like Overwatch with dinosaurs.
Interesting. Multiplayer? Like versus?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's cool. Concept's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see what it's like. So, yeah, getting into the first news topic of the day. Peter, have you ever been told, like, hey, man, let's take a breather, let's take a break from the game, step back, maybe rethink everything? Have you ever just sat there and was like, I need a burn. Give me a timeout. Like, let's go take a break. Let's relax. Have you ever felt like that playing any game whatsoever?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them Blizzard games, actually.
A lot of them Blizzard games?
A lot of them Blizzard games, actually.
Okay. Well, it makes a lot of sense why this game and this developer from this game is telling people, like, hey, maybe it's time to take a break. And that one is being Diablo 4. Diablo 4 dev says, in quotes, this: when you've reached all the goals and done the things you think are important, take a break. That's fine. We do the same thing. He then goes on to add, when a new season arrives and there's a new things for you to come and check out, there's a great time to come back. That's exactly when you should come back and check out Diablo 4 fresh. How do you feel about the advice from the Diablo dev?
I mean, Blizzard really knows how to make addicting games. They've got the like they know how to make a game where you need to grind. World of Warcraft being a great example, Diablo being a great example. Do you know what this was in response to? Even are people saying, "Hey, like I'm spending too much time playing," or was this just kind of like an off the cuff?
I think he's just, I think he's just on the record, just saying like, because these, I feel like Diablo is like that dungeon crawler, that like that MMO type feel to where you're sitting there, you're trying to get your characters maxed out, dungeon after dungeon, raids after raids, yes, and battle passes that exceed like 100 hours of your time to max out. Right. It could be possibly draining. This is a game that I feel like the developers and the people that made Diablo were like, you guys are going to put in your time and you guys are going to play this. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. We love a game that's going to put out a lot of content like Diablo, and that's going to sit there and fulfill things every season. That's the problem with games like Halo that really don't put out that much stuff, and like seasons are dry, maps are dry, everything feels the same. We don't like want that feeling, but there does come a time where it's like, oh, I'm grinding, and it becomes 12 hours and you're still playing, you hear birds chirping, and it just becomes an absolute problem.
Yeah, I mean, because if I'm a dev and I'm like, hey, people are averaging 6 hours a session, I'm like, hey, success. We built something great. I wonder, do you think it'd be too nerdy for game developers and publishers to be like, hey guys, like game's out, you know, here's also an initiative: stay healthy, touch some grass every day. Like it's important to balance. Or do you think that
I feel
people
like
would just be like, shut up, like boo? Like, you know what I mean?
You care about our mental health. You want me to be healthy?
Yeah.
I had chocolate cake for breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
And dinner. What's up? Yeah.
I had a chocolate cake and I washed it down with a zero sugar Baja Blast. What are you talking about? Be healthy, mental health.
Do you think that's lame? Like, do you think that's even their lame? Like, yeah, exactly. Because if I'm like a hardcore Diablo guy, I'm like, hey, Blizzard devs said, hey, don't forget to go outside. I'd be like, shut up, nerds. Like, I got to get my rare loot. Like, you should increase the drop chances if you want me to go outside more often, you know?
That's so wild. Like, I feel like I know what you're saying, because it's like, if you say that, if you like, okay, I can understand. Like, what if like, people or just like anybody that loves the game, they're just talking about this game doesn't have enough content. I'm not really liking the seasons, battle pass too much, and then they come out like, hey man, maybe just go outside. Yeah. Then we got to throw it out a little bit. Like, hold on a minute. But in a serious response to that, I think a lot of the time, like, we don't realize as human beings, like, we do this and we grind and we have goals. We want to get that armor set. We want to get that weapon. We want to max out this. Oh, my homie gets off work at 10, but he wants to run raids. And it's like, we plan this out. Like, it's hard to like put in like every factor that comes into that. So I can kind of see why people do that. But like at the same time, if you feel like you're burnt out, 100% take a break. There's times where like, think about people that play, I'm going to throw it out there. Another Blizzard game, Overwatch, grinding out ranked for a very long time. You can get tilted, anger, then you get keyboard warriors, and then all that stuff. It's just not a healthy thing at all.
And I did see in that article too, the Blizzard had said, or the article was saying that players were complaining because they were making ultra rare items ultra rare, which I feel like is in the description, but they're saying, hey, we wouldn't be grinding so much if you drop these rare items more often. And if I'm a dev, I'm like, yeah, but they're super rare, and the only way to keep you playing is if it doesn't drop yet. So there's this weird balance that you have to have where it's achievable, but Blizzard's, I mean, they're like notorious for that.
That's
they make
every
super rare. They
every
keep you playing. I don't really buy, like, I don't really accept that argument. It's their job to make you keep playing. I do appreciate that they at least for a second said, hey, don't forget to take breaks. I feel like that's what you see in the loading screens of those games. Like, hey, don't forget to take a break. It's healthy. All right. And they're like, you're in hour 9 of whatever you're doing. You're like, okay.
Tim also said maybe flip it around, make 100% of the game available, and then take away a little bit of percentage. I feel like that's kind of crazy. But like, imagine like, oh, dude, I got to get on right now. Because if I don't, like, I wait a week, it's like, oh, no, it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
The only way I can kind of like put that into something is like talking about like a battle pass. Like, okay, you better figure out the battle pass within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you have like 60 days or 80 days or something.
But I don't like that complaint. People are complaining about like, oh, it's ultra rare. Like, maybe just make it a little bit easier. Like, if they made that super easy, then the game would be super easy, and then people wouldn't play the game.
Stop playing it. Yeah,
you want to play. You got the item. Like, come on. Now we're just being beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
The next topic, man. Can't deal with this. What do you guys think about Diablo? Should you guys be taking a break, going outside, touch some grass, go swimming? Dude, I am literally a fish. I have been swimming like crazy the past
Dave the Diver
days,
is a good game. Good call.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about real life. I've been on the raft, man. I've been on the raft, chilling, getting tan, dude. That Ohio weather treating me nice.
That's when you switch the light filters from warm to cool because you're tan now.
You're like, oh man, I'm looking a little orange.
I got the summer filter on. You come back to cool. You're already too tan.
And then it's like you got to turn it back.
Yeah, when December is. Yeah.
The next game I want to talk about, or the next news I want to talk about, is a game that EA has announced that they're making. And I think a lot of people are super excited about this. When I saw this, I got super excited. EA is working on the next Black Panther game. How do you feel about this, Peter? Black Panther being created by EA. It's saying right now that in quotes, we're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther game experience, giving them more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven video game.
So when I picture a Black Panther game, I'm kind of picturing similar to like a Spider-Man, God of War, over the shoulder type game. It's just not I'm not super familiar with the background of the lore and the story. Okay. So I'm trying to, I'm excited. I'm excited for games to be good. So I hope it's good. I hope they don't cheap out on it. I hope they take their time and effort and do it well. I'm just trying to think of like, what kind of game is it going to be? I guess like do you think it's going to be like a free roam type thing? Like an open world type thing?
It's such a weird thing. They don't have many details on it at all. But it's being handled by a new studio called Cliffhanger Games. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what their work is like. I don't know what they worked on before this, but
it says that the studio head was the studio head when Shadow of Mordor was released. So
that's a good game.
Yeah, over the shoulder. I think an open world. I think all Marvel games, if they're open world, would be sick. I think Spider-Man's one of the coolest games. I guess it's kind of naturally open world, just because of the nature of the hero. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do.
If it's anything like when I think of like EA and I think of a game like that, I'm thinking Jedi Survivor, like off rip. If they can kind of make it like kind of that RPG style, very good story, very more like that, I hope it can be good. I really love those Spider-Man games and kind of like those single player over the shoulder games. Like I'll be on the PlayStation. Like I'm kind of used to that kind of stuff. But I think it could be very good. I know Black Panther is overall a great hero too. Very good movies, and I think it could do very, very well. I feel like it gets a little sketchy though too. Like you're like, okay, like EA. It could be a little scary because you never know what they're gonna put out. But like thinking of Jedi Survivor, I feel like they're kind of regaining that.
Yeah, as long as they put some time, care, and effort into it, the Black Panther fans will pick it up regardless of reviews first day. Right. If they do it poorly, there will be a lot of
who worked on
for it. But
who worked on Golem? Was that Ubisoft or was that EA?
It was a German company.
It was neither. Okay, I was just making sure because it might turn out it could be something like that too. Like if we get another situation,
because
no, I'm just like be optimistic, bro. Like put my 2 cents out there. Sure. If you take that type of game and we get super excited about it, we're like Black Panther, very viral superhero, and then it ends up being like crap. Like it doesn't play very well, it doesn't move very well, the combat's kind of boring. You could have another Golem situation on your hand because we already know this game coming out is going to be another $70 game. I don't see in a world why it wouldn't be $70.
They had to buy the rights to Marvel. They're not going to sell it for anything less than that. It might even be more than that. Who knows?
No. But down the road when it comes out, you never know. Games might be $75.
Yeah. But the Gollum game was released by a German publisher. It's something unrelated. So hopefully they have the money to back.
Did you see they fired everybody from that team? It's crazy.
Why wouldn't they? It was terrible.
It's not funny, but like I just like, dude, that's so crazy.
I hope they find jobs. Obviously, it stinks to get fired. Obviously, but you bought the rights to Lord of the Rings, so you spent all your money on the rights and then spent zero money in the design of the game. So I feel like that's self-inflicted. Is that mean to say? I don't know.
No, it's tough to say. Like, because I didn't want to say it. I passed it to you. You can say it. I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one to throw that out there.
Look, I have no idea how to make a game. I'll just say that.
Dude, that's above our pay grade. We talk about them.
Okay, I don't even know how we're back on Gollum, but I know people spent their time, their blood, sweat, and tears making this game. I understand that. What I don't like is that you knowingly released the game when it was as broken as it was. That's
you knew it was going to be bad. Like week 1, he's like, "Yeah, I want to release an apology." I'm like dating that thing. Hey, but it is on sale right now for half off.
Gollum?
Yeah,
sweet. We should play it together. Do you want to play it together?
Co-op Gollum?
Oh my gosh, I can't think. I'll play
it. Okay, I'll throw it out there. If someone bought it for me, I'd play it. I'll just throw that out there.
Okay.
I'd beat it. I'd beat the game.
Okay.
What's the last game you beat? On to the next topic. Thank you, Peter, for your insights.
I just wanted to drop that. All right.
Going into our sport topics of the podcast, 2K is making the PC version of the game current gen versus next gen. I kind of brought this up because it's like, when are we going to get a change when the PC is as powerful as it is and they want to keep on making the PC version current gen versus next gen? How do you feel about that?
Can you ask the question again? I'm not sure.
I'm just saying, okay, so 2K is making their PC version of the game. It's going to be current gen instead of next gen. Current gen is Xbox One, PS4. Next gen is PS5, Xbox Series S and X.
Oh.
Enhanced graphics, different mechanics, different play style. To put it in like terms of Madden, I can describe Madden better than 2K. When you have current gen Madden, everybody's like super fast. Like there's not the technology as these next gen consoles have. Like the next gen consoles, they have the technology to have like player movements, exact player movements, skeletons. And current gen, everybody's just super fast. Okay. Like it sounds weird. Like everything's like broken versus like it's like more of a science thing when it comes to the next gen stuff. And it's like this has been going on for the next few, like in recent years of making PC current gen all the time. I don't know when we're gonna get out of that PC being current gen. I think it's time it needs to be next gen stuff, because in order to do cross play, which 2K is putting into their game this year, I want to give a round of applause at 2K and EA both putting cross play into their game. But if you have it on current gen on PC, you're not going to be able to play with the Xbox and PS5 guys. So, like, when is it time to implement? I mean, people have 3060, 3070, like $1,000, $1,500 graphics cards. You don't think they can run 2K on their computer? Like, are we bringing the bar? Like, because regardless, it's going to be the same price as what you're going to pay for a next gen game, too.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that.
It's not cheaper. No, it's never cheaper. Okay, so like it might be $60. $60 versus $70 for next gen.
Well, I'm trying to think of the benefit of just doing current and not next. Like, is it cheaper somehow to do that port? Like, why wouldn't you want the next gen for your consumers?
Hear me out, bro.
Okay.
Madden 20, current gen. Madden 21's current gen is a copy and paste. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing with different names. 21 to 22, if it's current gen, still the same thing. It's a copy and paste model. They're not working on the current gen model of the game. It's just the next gen.
So what's the benefit then?
There's no benefit. That's why this is the problem. There's no problem. Like there's a problem that they want to put current gen on the PC.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And that's why I'm trying to figure out. It's like, when do the PC guys get a pass and they can start playing on next gen versus playing on current gen stuff? Because like, unless you want to really, really play 2K, it's like you better buy it on a system. You better buy it on a console. You better buy it on the PS5 or the Xbox.
Do you think they do that to encourage console sales? Like, is there some I guess I just don't understand the benefit. Like, why is it always one version behind?
And that's the problem. I don't understand it either. What do you think about it, like, per se, though? Like, how do you feel about not being able to play the next gen version on the PC? You're gonna have to play in order to have the best enhanced graphics and all the abilities and factors to the game. You need to buy it on console.
If I was a PC owner, I'd be annoyed for sure.
Right.
I mean, I just don't know what goes into porting a game to PC. Maybe it costs time and resources to get everything current, but like maybe it's a money grab, which would be horrible if that was all it was. You're just like, well, we'll release this version and then they'll buy it full price or, slightly reduced, and then we'll release the next version. So you can double down on your game sales because you're releasing two versions of the same game.
I'm not buying 2K twice. There's no reason.
Some people are
though,
but some people are. Like maybe that's a lot. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I think you should have the most current version, the best you can available to everyone, as quick as possible.
I just think 2K needs to upgrade themselves. That's all. Let me know what you guys think about the 2K being current gen on PC. Just out of curiosity. I hate it, obviously, because when you put in all these extra factors, like you put in pro play meaning like they play like the actual players, or moments that are in real life basketball are contributed to the game. I don't know how the technology works for that. I don't know how they grab that formula. That's way above my pay grade. But at the same time, they're adding features that you're not going to get on PC, and you're still having to pay the same price. Some people, they spend $1,500, $2,000 on PCs, and some people are only blessed enough to have a PC. They're like, look, I'm going to spend my money on my PC, invest in it. This is what I'm going to play my games on. I love Madden. I want to play Madden. But if you play it on PC, you're not going to be able to hang with the big dogs that are on next gen. You're playing current gen with the current players. Like, not the current players, my fault, with people that have older consoles, PS4. We're coming into a lifespan of consoles where it's been 5-6 years. Like, if you don't have a next gen console right now, then you just don't. Like there's no more excuses. Like, they're not findable. They're too expensive. No, I mean, it's 5 years in. It's like, if you don't have the newest console, then it's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's the truth, because that's how far the cycle we're in. I can understand if we're only like a year in, but we've been like 5 years in. And when it comes to this game, it's make or break to have it on next gen.
I just like don't. I'm trying to understand what the benefit would be, and I don't.
There's no benefit. There's no benefit to having on current gen. PCs just lose. The next topic I do want to bring up, though, to kind of get off the 2K topic. Sure. Your guys over at Xbox, Pieter actually started a petition to make Starfield 60 FPS because people don't understand how games work, because they think if they do a petition to make Starfield 60 FPS that it will become 60 FPS. So there was a little snippet I had from this article, and it basically said the 60 FPS petition was started over on change.org and has so far amassed 144 signatures out of an initial goal of 200. The petition reads, Starfield is a great game, and it's sad to see the lost opportunity to add 60 frames in exchange for lower quality. The game has huge potential, and the game may even get the game of the year. May get the game of the year. It would be sad to play it without the 60 frames. So please, Bethesda, add performance mode. So
amassing 144 signatures. Whoa.
It's a big number, man. Think of 144 people in your room.
All right, that's a lot.
So how do you feel, man? Are you signing the petition? Are you ready for Starfield at 60 FPS? Is this a no-brainer? Or are you not going to play it now that it's 30 FPS?
It's okay. So if I'm Xbox, I want to put out the best possible product.
Sure.
I want to.
Sure.
There's no reason for me not to do it. I can charge money. I can charge money longer. Why is he on the screen? The point is, like, there's a reason that they're going to release it at 30. Why is his face like that? They're going to release it at that. I just like, with how large they've described the game, with how many planets you can go to, it just feels like one of those things where, like, hey, if we just do 30 frames, it's just going to be like a smoother performance overall. I don't know how much goes into creating a game that big. I don't know how much like processing power consoles and PCs are going to need to carry a game like this. If you're putting that much into it, everyone's like, we'll just run it at maximum settings all the time. And you're like, there's 100 planet, like
1,000 planets.
1,000 planet, like, exactly. So how are we supposed to? There's something that there's a separation between the devs and the publishers and the players. the average person has no idea what goes into like running it
smoothly. They did say that they wanted to run the 30 frames for just pure consistency, but if anything drops under 30 frames, Houston, we have a problem. And it's on planet 678. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the planet I'm going to be on.
I was going to say planet 669, and that's where all the problems are. And no, you're right, though. You're absolutely right.
Because there's games that could do really well with 30 frames per second. Look at Tears of the Kingdom. That game runs at 30 frames per second. People love it. People kind of get past the graphics. But then you also have Redfall that ran at 30 frames per second, and people also didn't really enjoy that at all. You can play it on PC to get the uncapped, but let's be realistic. That's going to be not a good option. I've tried Redfall on PC with the uncapped frame settings, and I still had plenty of problems. It's just not something that works.
Yeah. They're going to run it at that because I mean, they can add it. They can always add it after the fact, I believe. Mm-hmm. So they're saying, hey, we're going to reduce it up front to make sure that it runs smoothly and everyone has a better experience across the board. Like we'll start with that. And if that goes well and we fix all the bugs that are inevitably going to come around, then we can, move it forward and we'll add 60 and then kind of tackle it from there. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Like, is 30 FPS going to be something that deters you from picking it up?
No, I'll play it. That's because this is probably the best game that Xbox is going to put out this year. I feel like it's a no-brainer. So I will give it a chance. I'm not going to sit there and not play Starfield because of it. But at the same time, I hope it stays away from the bugs. And if it has bugs and it has problems, like let's make it fun bugs. Let's have some crazy stuff going on, some crazy animation, some funny stuff. I just don't want any game-breaking stuff. I don't want anything that's too boring. And I hope if I have 30 frames per second, like do not dip anything under that. And that's where I stand.
And day one, people are like, you said 30, it's 25,
Yeah, and I mean, that's just like, if it stays at a consistent 30, then we might be cool.
Yeah.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But we made it to that topic of the day. You guys love it. It happens every week. The Pieter reacts, sitting with his favorite game, no beverage, ready to react to some good old quality games. Pieter.
Yeah.
How you feeling about reacting to this next topic? You excited?
I'm a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
9 out of 10? I want to show to you a trailer that I saw at the Xbox or the ID. I think it's Xbox ID show. Okay. And it's a game called Stumble Guys. And it's going to be coming to Xbox. I feel like this game has been out. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but it's called Stumble Guys. And it's coming to Xbox. And it kind of reminds you of another game called Fall Guys, I feel like. But with a lot more features. Obviously, you have the obstacle course, but in this one, you have like a first-person mode. And it just looks all around great and fantastic. But I want to get your feelings on how you feel about the trailer, what's going on. Is this something you're picking up? All that good stuff, man. Just react to how you feel about Stumble Guys.
I mean, Team Fall Guys.
Team Fall Guys.
It's like a clear copy, I guess. It came out after?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a party game. People are going to link up on a Friday, on a Saturday with the squad, 8 to 10 people. Hopefully you can get that many people in. They're going to play it. People are going to make a bunch of videos that say, what's it called? Collision Dudes? What's the game called?
Collision Dudes? I don't know what that is. I don't know what Collision Dudes is. I don't know what games you're downloading.
What's it called? Stumble Guys. They're going to be like, Stumble Guys better than Fall Guys? I think that's where we're at. Like,
this game came out in 2021, and it's on Steam, but it's a mobile game. It's on iOS, Android, and Microsoft
Mobile?
Windows.
Really? The first person's cool. The first person's always cool. So that's neat. That's a cool addition. It's a party game, man.
Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I'm indifferent. I actually would like to see Collision Dudes get made. I'm waiting for that to come out.
Collision Dudes is not getting made. And you mixing up Collision Dudes with Stumble Guys is actually ridiculous. It's got to be pretty decent because right there, it has like Nerf sponsorship. That's kind of cool.
Nerf sponsorship's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm down for that. I don't know, man. Like, it's a party game. It's gonna be a blast if we're all together. Like, everyone's sitting in the Discord playing it. It's gonna be cool. Being on mobile is really cool compared. How much is it on? Is it on Steam as well?
It is on Steam. I don't know the actual price of it. It's 32 players online.
That's cool.
It's it is a party game. It's saying.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. I've never played it. I mean, that's my reaction. I've never played it. Fall Guys was like the big sell. I think timing had a lot to do with it. I don't know. It's better than Wario Party, probably. It's definitely better than Wario Party. I'm going to repeat it.
And that has been another episode of...
I don't know. Are you going to play it?
Pieter reacts. He reacts. He reacts on Collision Dudes. Yes, I will be playing it. We'll be playing it together. We will be. That's cool. If it's on Xbox, I'm down. Let me know what you guys think about Collision Dudes. I mean, Stumble Guys. I appreciate you guys getting here, man. If you guys can do me a favor before we get into our main topic of the show, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, sub, all that type of stuff. Gaming Gone Weird goes live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We talk about everything gaming news and everything weird gaming. So your guys' subs, likes, comments, and word of mouth does help out a lot.
It helps out a ton.
Yes, really and we appreciate everybody here. And also make sure you guys check out the other channels where we talk about other stuff. Well, not us, but our other members of Know Your News talk about weird news or sports or a movie that you might have forgotten back in the day. We got it all covered for you guys. Make sure you guys check out the other channels. And now kicking it off into our main topic, the main rumbler, the company that cannot make good games. I repeat, the company that cannot make good games, Microsoft, won its case against FTC. That's right, folks. The Activision Blizzard and King deal did get approved, and the FTC did lose their case, meaning that Xbox can now purchase these studios, meaning that Xbox is going to pick up titles like Call of Duty, Crash, Spyro, Diablo, all that good stuff.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. The court basically said that Call of Duty, based on the knowledge of the court, that if the argument is about Call of Duty and Nintendo signed the deal to have Call of Duty on their platform for 10 years, then PlayStation can do the same, and it's not a competitive buy. It doesn't make everything less competitive, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna just go off the rip. I'll start it off.
Yeah.
Congrats to Xbox. I am very proud for gamers in general. This is a very good buy for Game Pass people. I think being able to have a lot of these titles, especially Overwatch 2, having special bundles on there, or maybe Diablo, being able to have that on Game Pass for something to grind, it makes Game Pass that much more valuable. And that's a big salute to them. I just think going about it just kind of sucks in general of the nature of gaming. When you think of like the big people bucks, and it's like, I hate kind of talking this way because then it's like I'm defending a piece of plastic. But when you can't sit there and you could just throw money and buy anything, it doesn't make anything better for anybody. And that's what Microsoft did. They basically said, we need games. Well, instead of making good games, let's just buy the games and we'll have them. Crash used to be a PlayStation mascot. Now it's owned on Xbox. Very weird. Same thing with Spyro. Same thing with Spyro. Spyro was a PlayStation exclusive back in the day, PS1, PS2. Now it's on Xbox. Feels a little weird. I'm just not enjoying it, man. Phil Spencer did say this in a tweet. I don't know why it's only popping up tweet 1 and 2. I had 2. I had 3, I think. Sorry, let me clear my throat. Phil Spencer says, we're grateful to the court for swiftly deciding in our favor. The evidence showed the Activision Blizzard deal is good for the industry, and the FTC's claims about console switching, multi-gaming subscription services, and cloud doesn't reflect the realities of the gaming market. I don't have tweet 2 for some reason, but I have tweet 3.
I can read tweet 2 if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and read tweet 2.
Tweet number 2 from Phil Spencer says, since we first announced this deal, our commitment to bringing more games to more people on more devices has only grown. We've signed multiple agreements to make Activision Blizzard's games, Xbox, first-party games, and Game Pass all available to more players than they are today.
And then number 3 says, we know that players around the world have been watching this case closely and are proud of our efforts to expand player access and choice throughout this journey. Peter, what are your takes on this? We can kind of go back and forth. I'm just kind of, how do you feel about it? How do you feel this is with everything being on Game Pass, Microsoft basically just saying, bro, we're just going to buy out every studio we can, it feels like, because it also was shown in court that they wanted to buy stuff like Sega. Sega being on Xbox could be extra crazy too. I want to get your feedback, man. How do you feel? How are you feeling this about from your perspective?
Well, so as I understand it, one of the bigger concerns as a part of this was cloud gaming. A big part of the concern here was the Call of Duty franchise. So having ownership over the Call of Duty 100%. Franchise, and some of the arguments made by the opposing parties said, hey, like it's going to be a monopoly if Call of Duty is exclusively on Xbox services. Part of the ruling that the judge had made said, well, Xbox is committed to keeping it for everyone, basically for the next 10 years. And it's also available for Switch. I assume mobile is a part of that as well. COD being on mobile. Yes. 10 years sounds like a long time, but it's not that long. Microsoft is going to be, I would assume, here in the next 10 years and well after that. I get why Sony would want to fight it. I did read that the Activision Blizzard CEO was like, hey, this is better for everyone. Of course, you would say that. You're about to get a huge paycheck. It definitely feels like a monopoly. It's hard not to feel that way. Well, I mean, what do you think?
That's what's tough, man. I feel like with not showing favoritism to PlayStation, I feel like PlayStation has had these studios for a very long time. And they've done nothing but build with these, like Naughty Dog. They built with them, building very good games. You got your Last of Us's, you got the God of War games that they've had that they just keep on making better. Horizon, working with those studios for very, very long times. Studios like Square Enix, and they put in their time and their effort with these studios to make great games and give them the resources to build whatever they want. And then you look at Xbox, and not trying to like bring it back up, but like this year in general, you had Redfall. That is your studio. That is you have the rights to that studio. You have the resources to make that game good, and it flopped. Same thing with possibly Starfield. Not saying that it will, but at the same time, it's like this is something that this is yours that you need to work on and put more resources to make the game better. Like, instead of buying and spending all that money to buy the Activision Blizzard, maybe focus on making better games instead of just buying people that already established good games. The only positive I could really see with this is if you take Call of Duty, this would be a game changer for everybody. You buy Call of Duty. We don't release it yearly anymore. We let it rest. They say, look, you guys are already paid. You guys are set. Take your time. Make a good game. Whatever you guys want. That would be the dream if they could do that. And then like 4 or 5 years down the road, we get a really, really good Call of Duty with really good features. And it's not like you have to force to push stuff out. Oh, instead of just having Call of Duty, let's push out a different shooter, or let's push out the people that made Crash or something. You know, maybe we get a new Crash game because it's like, look, you got the money. Take your time. It doesn't have to be right now. It's on Game Pass. Explore and make something different. If Xbox is going to give them, and if Phil Spencer's a man of his word, as he says in previous interviews, I just want the studios that work with us to have free range, and I'm not going to turn down any idea that they have to make their dream game. Then, okay, let's get to it. Let's get a different type of game. Let's get a new platformer. Let's get different games that it's like, okay, well, I don't have to, it's not life or death if I don't make the next Crash game, or it's like, oh man, I'm just tired of focusing on Overwatch. Let's get a new shooter out there. Let's let Blizzard work on something different. And honestly, I think the big W here that a lot of people aren't worrying about or talking about is them being able to purchase King, which is Candy Crush. You know, Candy Crush makes billions of dollars a year. Ridiculous money.
That's big time.
Ridiculous money. Tim did say that, overlooking the King part of the deal. That is the crazy
that for sure
part.
Is getting looked over. Absolutely. I believe that.
Xbox is looking at the bigger picture. They say they got Game Pass, they got consoles. They're worried about cloud gaming. They're worried about what can you do on your phone. Now you got COD Mobile. You got King. You have the Diablo Immortal, possibly something more. Possibly.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone.
Hearthstone is now. Yep.
World of, like, this is like bigger for the mobile PC. This isn't just the console. They're playing chess and not checkers, and I respect it. But I really hope this doesn't turn into who could big bank take little bank. I just don't appreciate big bank take little bank, because like at that point it's like everybody's just a price tag at this point. Who has who, and then gaming is going to be really exclusive.
Yes,
that is going to be really divided. Yes.
And we'll see it. We'll see it in our lifetime. Like, they're like, yeah, 10 years. I'm like, that's 3 games if you're lucky, like 3 fully built out games if you're lucky for COD. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's exclusive. Now you don't have it. And everyone can make these promises now. Is Phil Spencer even going to be the CEO or whatever position that he's in within the company in 10 years? Does it even affect him in 10 years? So you're making these decisions and you're making these changes for a decade down the road when you may not even be involved. Because you're like, you know what I'm saying? So like, people make promises and these changes for periods of time where they're not even there. So it's hard to, I don't know, man. It's like, it's crazy money, and it's bizarre to see those franchises be moved over from PlayStation, whatever fan that you are of whatever, Xbox versus PlayStation, that's silly, that's silly debate. But for me, I'm not even a PlayStation guy, and it's like weird for me to see those franchises be moved over. I just
right.
It's like kind of what I grew up with. I'm like, oh, I've never played because it's on PlayStation. I'm like, oh, I'm missing out. It's just not from, like, I just don't have it.
Just highlighting that this is like the biggest purchase in any technology history, like especially for like gaming.
For gaming, for sure.
For sure. Call of Duty has been, whether you guys agree or not, whether you think the game is crap, whether you play it or not, we've all had a COD like moment in our life. We've all had COD like phases.
Yeah.
They make money. Ridiculous. We're talking billions of dollars.
Hands over fist. Yep. Absolutely.
Bundles. They're talking like they make so much money, bro. Like, and it's nuts, man. Because people are buying that either if you're on PlayStation or Xbox and everything else. I wonder how much of a hit it's going to take for it just being on Game Pass. Think of it like you don't have to buy the game anymore. If it's just straight up on Game Pass, you don't have to purchase the game. I don't know what that means. Does that mean like future down the road, we get more expensive battle passes? Do we get more expensive bundles because they need to make up for that? I mean, it's not a crazy debate to bring up. If you need to meet those ends, because you're not, I mean, we've already had topics about it. We said that Xbox isn't making profit from the Game Pass. Like, people are buying it, but like for how much it costs to make these games and how much people are actually purchasing the titles is very different from people just saying like, here's a subscription base. They don't have to pay for the game. It's already there. Right. So like a game like Call of Duty, okay, it's on Xbox Game Pass. That's cutting like so much. Like if you got 100 million people on Xbox playing the game, you're losing said money if you don't buy it.
It's strange. It's well, nothing crazy's happened yet. Nothing's gone into effect yet. They can appeal it still. So it still can be appealed by the Federal Trade Commission. The option is there. Whether they do that or not, who knows? I can tell you right now, Microsoft lawyers could probably be in litigation forever. They have the money clearly to back it up. PlayStation is probably freaking out on their end. I don't know, because like their whole argument, like their big concerns are cloud gaming. Their big, the arguments against it. They're like, hey, this is clearly going to be a monopoly. This is not good for consumers. This is not good for the gaming communities.
I don't really think it is, to be honest with you, bro. You can't. It's hard to convince me otherwise. But it's like, it's so weird, man, because I'm on both ends. As a consumer, I got an Xbox. I'm good. I got Game Pass. I'm straight. If I want to play COD, it's there. Right. But if Xbox is just going to sit there and be like, okay, well, we don't want Square Enix no more on PlayStation. Here you go, Square. Here's money. We want Final Fantasy. We want everything on our console now. Here you go. And they said, yeah? How is that even fair? At all. That's big bang takes little bang. Right. That's just like, and like, I don't even want to see PlayStation retaliate with it. Save your money. Put that towards growing something that you already have. I don't want to see them go out and be like, yo, we're going to buy Sega now. Or we're going to buy, I don't know. I just don't want it to be a buying thing. It did say in the article from The Verge that, where did it say that? I lost it. They have until the July 18th deadline to close the deal.
That's not too far away.
I'm trying to see where I can find it exactly. But in reality, just having those big titles, it's going to be interesting to see for the most part. This is the craziest thing we've ever seen. Just because we don't know what's going to happen. After that 10 years, do they put out another contract? Because I would assume that Xbox would lose a lot of money if they didn't put it on PlayStation. Maybe they. I mean, who knows?
But 10 years is not that long.
But also, Jim Ryan was also saying that when it came to like stuff talking about like after they purchased Activision Blizzard, they didn't say anything about Diablo 4 being on the PS5 or the next Diablo. They didn't send him anything about Overwatch 2. Whether we like to say it or not, that's another game that's not going to be on your platform. That's still huge. Taking away stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how it plays out, man. I'm just if we can be honest, I'm kind of just relieved the deal is done. Now we can just like accept it. This is what's going to happen. Because at first I was all for the deal, man. But then you really think about it and it's like, yeah, like it's not fair because like you just have trillions of dollars and you're like, okay, this is what we're going to do because we can't make good games. You feel me?
Dang. I guess that was the mic drop in that. But yeah, it's if you can't beat them, buy them, I guess.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, buy them.
I don't know what else to say.
As long as the acquisition doesn't affect my Google Stadia, oh yeah, that thing's been affected a long time ago, brother. Oh man. Well, that was our show, guys. Thank you guys seriously so much. It means the world.
Yes.
Listening, letting us be in your guys' ears and talk about everything gaming, and this being the source for your guys' gaming news. We are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peter, go ahead, tell the people what you're working on, where to find you, and all that good stuff.
Yes, Peter, aka Not Ghost Stories, and all things socials. We've got Gaming Gone Weird every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. You guys are here now. We'll do it again next week, probably, right? Episode 44, somewhere in that.
44, baby.
We've been streaming on YouTube as of late. Been playing Dave the Diver, making content on everything, on all socials. We've got and a couple of podcasts, Creators Unplugged podcast, which is on YouTube and wherever you find your podcasts, actually. And then the Ballback podcast about NFL, college fantasy football.
Awesome, bro.
What about
thanks for being here, man. I seriously appreciate you doing the show with me.
Every time.
I want to give a big shout out to everybody here. Shout out Mo, Tim, Tommy, Jerry's, all you guys that came cool down. Everybody that came to kick it for a little bit, man.
Not cool down.
Not cool. Yeah, everybody but cool
everybody
down.
Else. Yep.
Thank you for literally just giving us your time. I know people are very busy and it's hard to watch live streams and catch this. So seeing all you guys here means the world. Before I tell you guys where to find me, don't forget to sub, like, comment, all that good stuff. But my name is Nicktana, guys. I'm a game critic, game reviewer. So if you want to catch any game reviews, me critique games, do video essays and stuff like that, you're going to want to catch me over at YouTube at You Love Nicktana. Also, if you guys want to keep up with my tweets and everything I'm tweeting about life, everything I'm playing, all that good stuff, make sure to check me out on Twitter at You Love Nicktana as well. Everything is very appreciated as always. I'd love to see you guys there. Until next time for episode 44, thank you for being weird with us. Be safe. Tell someone you love them. And we'll catch you guys next week. Goodbye.